Right. Yeah, his brother.
Right, okay. You alright?
Yes.
Now, just to let you know,
Right.
you've got there's a track and trace. If you're happy to sign it, that is.
Yep, sure.
Yeah. You as well.
You both just sign now. Thank you.
So what's your name then?
My name's...
Right, okay.
I'm his younger brother.
Ah, right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can just have you, Lee, for the moment.
I'd rather come in with my brother.
Okay, for what purpose?
As a witness.
Right.
For the judicial hearing. Yeah.
Right, okay. Are you in, what congregation are you in? Right, okay, okay. Can you give us a second then?
By all means. By all means.
All right. 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 There's man. We're concerned, obviously.
Yes.
Is there somebody else here as well?
No, just
us.
Just you two? No.
We're obviously just concerned because are you in part of the congregation, or are you studying, or I don't know. We don't know you. You see.
I'm not baptised, if that's what you're wondering.
Right.
But I am in congregation. I do come every now and then.
Okay.
Especially on special occasions like the Passover.
Okay.
He's never been to a judicial committee.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
This will be a first for me.
Okay.
It's not a spectator event. It's not.
He's not there to spectate. He's there to witness for me.
I'll
In
be
what way?
acting as witness for.
Can we just ask in what way?
In what way?
We just want to establish.
Quite simply because I'm here on my own.
Right. Okay.
And I'd like to have somebody with me.
Okay.
In any other occasion or any other kind of judicial committee,
Yeah.
you are allowed to have a witness. It even says that in the shepherding book.
Actually, it says in the shepherding book, generally witnesses are not allowed. That's the advice from the shepherding book.
I've read the book and I've seen it. I can call on witnesses.
We
want to call on my brother.
don't need to call on witnesses. This really was about how we can discuss and establish your views at the moment.
Well, if you want, we can pull up chairs out here and we can talk it here if you like. If we can't go in there.
Can I just ask, just to establish now, because obviously the purpose of a witness for a judicial committee is one of two purposes.
Yep.
It's either to establish a person's innocence.
Yes.
So you have occasions like, somebody was caught smoking.
Or accused.
Something like that, yeah. And somebody can vouch that person and say, he hasn't done that.
I know he hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah. Alternatively is the other way, somebody saw you smoking, or somebody saw you doing that. So that's the only two reasons for the witness. So are you saying you're here specifically because you don't think Luke has done wrong?
I can say that, yeah, he hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Now, see, on the invite, there was the accusation of not only spreading false teaching, but also undermining the confidence of brothers and false witnesses.
Yeah.
He's there to back me up that I haven't been doing any of that.
Okay. Now, at the end of the day, we want to do things exactly how Jehovah wants us to do them. We got the direction that we have as elders from the organisation.
Yep.
And we want to follow them directions to the best, because ultimately we want to help you. And that's the whole purpose of a judicial committee, is to help an individual.
It's just a bit unfair when you've got three people on one.
Yeah.
And it's very intimidating to the person as well, so I will be tagging along, just as moral support as well.
I understand. Yeah, I totally understand.
We're not trying to intimidate you. It's not a.
We know what's on the line.
It's trying to establish.
Let's not beat around the bush. We all know what's on the line at the moment. And I'm trying to treat it as serious as you guys.
Yep.
I've come here respecting the time and date.
Yeah.
I've come prepared.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to be here and go through this.
Yeah.
But I want a witness. Now, we can come to a compromise, or we're not really going to get anywhere.
Right, we need to establish then the whole purpose of what the purpose of the witness is for.
We've already discussed this. We're going in circles now.
So you're coming here to
Yes.
back up what Luke has.
Yes, I'm here to back him up.
So, which is how the judicial committee works, is the person who is attending the judicial committee will speak with the brothers first, and then he can call on any witnesses.
Right.
to back up his.
I'd want him to come with me throughout.
Can I ask, when you were talking to,
Yes.
did you witness the conversation?
No, I didn't listen to the conversation, I just heard the aftermath.
Neither did I, obviously, I was involved.
Yeah,
So when you're saying you can back Luke's position up,
yeah.
if we have concerns about what Luke has said, how can you add anything?
He knows all of that.
I have been told.
He wasn't involved in the personal conversation, but he knows the background that I've come from and the academic studies that I've been doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is about a scriptural matter,
Yep.
not an academic.
Yeah, well, the matter is that I've been spreading falsehood.
Well, that's what we need to establish.
Well, it's already been established, and that's why this meeting has been called for. I've already talked to quite extensively. Now I'm here to make a defence for myself, not to talk about it further.
And I'm here.
This is what I've come prepared for. That's what the invitation letter told me, that it was about an accusation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole idea of the purpose of any judicial committee is to establish how a person feels about.
I think we already know that.
Yeah. Can you give us? I know.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't
At
worry.
the end of the day, you've got to realise this is a unique situation for us.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
As I said, we're more than willing to compromise.
yeah. Okay.
But I do insist that he comes in with me.
So that's not a compromise, is it?
Well, the compromise is that I've actually come along here, the date and time, and come to anything. So that's my part of the bargain. The ball's kind of in your park at the moment. My request isn't unreasonable.
If you don't want me here, we can both go. And
No, we don't. That's not what we want. We want to try and help Luke spiritually. That is our.
And I'm more than happy to sit down with you, except have him in the same room as well.
Because you're concerned about what we're going to say. That's why you need a
We're
witness.
concerned about accusations that may be false.
Right.
And I'm
Okay.
there to back him up for it.
But we've already said you weren't there with the conversation.
But we've also
So-
said that he knows everything about it as well.
Well, that was what you said to him after.
So we're running in circles here at the moment.
Yeah. Could you just wait here?
That's
Is that
fine.
all right?
Yeah,
Just wait
that's
here
not a
just
problem.
a couple of minutes. We'll
Yeah.
go back in there, we'll have a little chat, and then we'll come back out.
Okay,
In accord with the direction
With
that we
policy,
have
okay.
as elders. We have to look at it that way first and foremost. And of course, as you quite rightly said, you know, we've got to, the way things are that generally there are no witnesses in the hearing until such time as one needs to be called in.
Okay.
The only other alternative, as I've mentioned to you before, is if it was between a husband and a wife, you know, if it's the wife or then the husband's the head of the house, could have come in that way. But generally, there are no,
Yeah.
there's no direction for two to come in at once. Because at the end of the day, we're here to help Luke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
But I want to be there.
I just
when-
find this
Yeah.
invisible barrier which you've set up a bit, I know, suspicious maybe.
all right, why? In what way?
Well, we're both here.
Yeah,
We're more than willing to sit down. We're more than willing to talk
yeah,
and do things in a dignified, respectful manner.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
All I'm asking is that I bring in my younger brother
Yeah.
to sit in with me.
of course. At the end of the day, though, we're here to help you.
Yes.
We're here to help you. We know it's not a gang. You know,
Yeah.
obviously, you know the score.
Well, the accusation where it stands is the falsehood of teaching. That's apostasy. And we all know what happens to apostates. So I've got a lot on the line, and I've got a lot riding on this.
Mhm.
So that's why I prepared a defence,
Yeah,
and that's why I brought along a witness.
right.
I'm trying to treat this.
Support him. I'm here to support
Okay.
him.
I'm trying to treat this
So-
as seriously as you do.
Yeah, good. And that
And I
we
think
appreciate that.
you belittle how serious this accusation is.
We don't. Trust us, we don't. We know the seriousness of it. We do know the seriousness.
So you can understand where I'm coming from then.
Yeah, I do understand.
We're not
So how would
saying-
you feel about if we had a chat with you first, and then if at one point you decided that you'd like your brother to come in to back up what you say, do it that way?
And have him coming in and out of the room. No. I'd rather have him sat there with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather be there to defend him at the time when he needs defending and not
It's
when
not,
you want him
it's
to
not
be defended.
an unreasonable request. And I've already mentioned that in your elder shepherding book, I am allowed a witness, and I have read that.
Yeah.
To either establish guilt or innocence.
Yes.
But I'm struggling to understand why you think you need a witness. It would indicate that you don't trust us. That's the first point. Secondly, as a spiritual arrangement, we're doing things Jehovah's way, which means as a committee, you speak to the elders, they establish the facts, they pray for the Holy Spirit, a decision is made. If your brother wants to support you afterwards, he's more than welcome to do so, as he has done, I'm assuming, for a while, as the brothers do. But this is essentially private between you and the body of elders.
Now, if there was such an accusation in ancient Israel, and a court was established, that hearing would take place at the gates of Jerusalem, in public, in the full light of day, where everybody would hear.
We're not
Now,
in ancient Israel.
In the first century Christian congregation, when accusations of apostasy were to come out, the entire congregation would be involved, not just 3 elders.
And I suppose if there was a concern that you had been saying these, spreading falsehoods to others, and somebody else had come to us and said, oh, Luke has been saying these things, then we'd need witnesses, wouldn't we? We'd say, Luke, have you been saying these things? This person says you have, this person says you haven't, what's the facts? But this is what you've actually said yourself.
Yes, yes. So
You were in a witness to the conversation.
know
I was
what
a
was
witness to the
down.
conversation. So this is about establishing what you've said. It's reinforcing what you've already said. So essentially, it's not about having witnesses. It's your testimony already. That we're just trying to work out
Is
what
there
is going
anything
on.
wrong with what he said?
Well, this
This
is
is what we would need to clarify.
because there's
Why
some
I need
things
to
that
be involved with.
there are things that we need to discuss with Luke.
you see, you could talk about clarification, but how many conversations have we had so far?
Well, we had 3, didn't we? In
3 conversations.
a couple of hours each, almost.
I've made myself perfectly clear. I told you the problems I've been having with the organisation, some of its teachings and its policies, and most importantly, this idea of a spontaneous generation. Okay? We can't support such nonsense.
So really what we're trying to establish now is that if that is your view, which are not compatible with the teachings of Jehovah's Witnesses, are you essentially saying you don't want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses anymore? Or
No.
is it a case of saying that
It never
by your
says
actions...
in the Bible about spontaneous creation.
Right,
never
we're not
says
going to
The thing
get
is,
into
we
a
don't want to
debate.
get into a conversation like that. The whole purpose of our meeting here today, and this is what we need to establish now, this is where we need to kind of get the line drawn, is we've invited you along with the letter that clearly states. We want to get your thoughts on it. We want to see how you feel about it.
But we've already been through this
In a-
before.
I know,
Yeah,
but we need
in
to
a-
do it in the
in an informal
setting
conversation.
that-
Okay,
This is
so
now
we
formal.
now just got to do everything that we've already done in the Kingdom Hall.
Well, in all fairness though, you've only said it to 2 of us, haven't you?
Well, it's a 2-person rule, isn't it?
Yeah. True, yeah.
So, from what I've said and from what you've heard from me, you should be able to take that into account.
But then we need to do it. This is Jehovah's arrangement at the end of the day, isn't it? This is Jehovah's Kingdom Hall. Jehovah set this arrangement up. You know, this arrangement is here for a specific reason. We can only follow direction that we get. And this is the direction that we've got.
And you're willing to follow that through to the letter.
As best we can.
As best
yeah.
we can, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the ball's in your court, really.
I kind of anticipated this would happen.
Well, when we spoke on the phone, you said about asking
For somebody to come with me as well.
And what
You
did I
said
say?
no.
Exactly. So you knew in advance that a witness really wouldn't be welcome, not welcome, but obviously welcome here, but not included in the actual hearing. So you knew in advance, and you brought him anyway. So
Yes.
in some respects, yeah, you should have anticipated it.
Yeah, as I said, I have been anticipating it.
But this is to try and
This is the meet around. I'm not going in there without my witness, but if you want to establish my thoughts and my feelings, it's all in there.
okay. Yeah, you're happy for us to read it, and there's a.
It's
yeah.
signed, it's my document.
Okay.
You can take what you will from that.
Mhm.
If you don't want us in, we'll respect that.
We'd like you to come in.
You'd like
Can
me
I-
to come in,
We'd like you to.
Yeah.
but I want him to come in.
Okay.
And if
Can I
you
ask
can
you
leave with
a
that-
specific question? A direct question now. Are you willing to come in with a judicial committee on your own?
No,
You're not.
of course not. No.
You're not willing to meet with a judicial committee on your own, and at a further date, if need be, your brother come in.
Not on my own.
Right.
But we haven't
Not
even
without witness.
Okay.
satisfied anything. We don't even know if you will need a witness. So we don't even know what the outcome is
you
going
talk
to
about
be. So
satisfying. We've had these conversations
Yeah.
extensively in front of 2 witnesses. So what you need to establish has already been established.
Right.
just
This,
making it formal.
this occasion was for me to give a defence, not to talk about things we've already talked about.
Well, not necessarily, because we've had conversations that you've had the opportunity, haven't you, to do that. This purpose of a meeting is to see how you feel about it.
We've talked about that.
To see how you feel about it.
We've talked about this.
So-
What you're feeling about. Yeah, but that's why we need to establish, because there's other questions that we'd like to ask.
Can I ask why it takes 3 people to establish that though? When
Because
only one
direction
person's
from the-
allowed
Yeah,
in?
that's the direction that we have as elders.
It's a bit intimidating for just asking a simple couple of questions.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot on the line.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know,
Yeah,
and that's
I
why we're taking this very seriously.
So what
you know.
questions would you like me to answer?
Well, it'd be unfair for me to say it without the 3 of us.
Well, you can bring the 3rd person in.
Or we
we
can
feel-
all go in
we feel-
there and just.
See,
That's
this is the
essentially the
invisible
committee.
barrier.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to talk to you. But
But
why
not
is this
the 3 of us.
barrier created
Because that's
where
how
no
Jehovah
witnesses
asked us
are
to do it.
allowed?
That's how Jehovah asked us to do it. And I'm not prepared to go against what Jehovah wants.
But in the scriptures, it's clear with such cases, it's a public hearing.
Maybe in the
just-
scriptures in the past.
I think
not now.
we need to go and talk to. But just before I do, can I just ask another personal question? What would you hope to achieve out of this today?
Right, so you can ask me questions, but I can't ask you questions.
Well, yeah, you can. You have asked questions.
But
you
I'm
don't have
not
to
getting
answer.
answers because apparently there's this invisible barrier that creates.
That's right. And you don't have to answer.
There's no
You know, at the end of the day,
invisible
we're all, you know, we're just trying to,
Let's
get.
sit down formally, respectfully, with dignity,
Yeah,
and talk this through.
and that's what we've been trying to do.
But on my own.
But you're refusing for a witness to come in.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. We'll go and chat to
Okie dokie.
Okay. So, if you want to sit down, by all means, sit down.
Welcome back, gents.
All right.
What's
Sorry
the
about this back and forth.
No, no, it's a bit
Well, we
awkward,
need to,
isn't it?
obviously, so we've had a chat about it, and obviously, we're trying to follow the direction that's given to us, the
Yep.
council that's given to us, and the direction is obviously that there are no witnesses to a full judicial hearing, other than when a witness needs to be called upon to establish, you know, either innocence or guilt, one way or the other. So we feel at the moment that we're going to have to adjourn this meeting.
Adjourn it.
Yeah.
Okay, so to a later date where the exact same thing's going to happen again, is it?
Well, we need to follow the direction.
But
that we've
useless,
got.
really, isn't it?
Well, the other alternative is if we go with the direction that we have.
Yep.
Ultimately, at any point, you can, if you're not happy, you can leave. You know, we'd rather that didn't happen. But we'd like it if you came in and at least saw how it went before you.
I see. I'm not going to leave, right? Because I'm here to stand for myself, to show that it's not mistruths that I'm spreading around.
Right.
And I'd want to talk about this, as I have talked about it. And if you've got questions, I will answer.
Okay.
But I will answer in front of my brother,
Right.
who's actually quite versed
I'm
in this area.
I'm sure he is. He seems
Yeah,
a challenging chap, just like you. But this is not about intelligence. This is about your stance in the Christian congregation, not your brother's. It's yours.
On the accusations of spreading falsehood.
Which for you to address, not your brother.
And
I'm
there's
not sure how you
support him
can-
there to defend him.
You don't need to defend him. We're not going to kill him.
Yeah.
Well, this
You know,
this can be a spiritual execution, can't it?
It can be a withdrawal of the congregation, yes. It can be a disfellowship.
It is
That
pretty
a consequence.
serious, isn't it?
It is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Serious enough that it calls for a witness
Now-
for it,
now-
for someone to defend.
Is life worth living without God's favour?
No.
So if I lose God's favour and get disfellowshipped,
Mhm.
that's pretty much the same as killing, isn't it?
No.
No, it's different.
Of course it is. It is. And at the end of the day, if what you've said about untruths and spontaneous creation, then by your own admission, you're basically saying, I don't believe in what the witnesses believe anyway. So, in a sense, I would say you're putting yourself in that position by having these beliefs at the moment.
Now you see, apostasy is going against the teachings of Christ.
But
Okay.
we've gone down this road before, and
Yeah.
we appreciate that you've been here an hour. We've been here a couple of hours as well ourselves, getting everything prepared to make sure it's safe. We've established that we're doing things theocratically, and the theocratic way, as we've said, is the way that we'd like it to go, or the way that the organisation, the way that Jehovah wants us to do it.
I'm not the one being unreasonable here.
Well, I didn't say you were.
Right.
All we requested was if we could just chat with you first,
More than willing to chat.
on your own.
My fear is that if I don't go in there with him, the judicial meeting will happen and you'll never call upon me, and then Luke would be cast out. That's why I want to be there throughout the whole thing.
I've thought about this and I've done research on it,
Mm.
and I'd like to share what I have with you.
Okay. I'll
Well,
be quite honest. I'm perfectly happy with my beliefs and my understanding of Scripture. I'm not really going to be interested in your research, if I'm being honest, unless it's in line and complete harmony with the Scriptures.
And if it is,
Then I'd be surprised, because I'm
Oh.
confident with the governing body's understanding of things.
you weren't privileged to the conversations I had with Mark.
No.
and Jeff. You see, my issue
And
is...
we're not going to debate about it now.
No, I see. I see.
It's a theocratic arrangement. As a member of the Christian congregation, as a baptized member, as a Jehovah's Witness, we submit ourselves to the way Jehovah wants things done through his organisation here on earth, which is why we take direction from the governing body. If things are not done through that way, then it's not going to happen.
If you're not
So-
here to debate supposedly what he said, then why are we here at all?
I'm not going to get into
Because
the
we don't
details.
want to. Yeah.
So just for example, if Lucas has said the governing body not to direct, that's not how Jehovah feeds his people on earth today, through the governing body. That's a fundamental Bible truth. That's all we need to know, if that's what
Right,
it is.
well, we're not really going to get any further.
So
shall we?
that's what it is.
So with that's like I say, I think we've had a chat about it.
You've got the envelope, you've got
Yeah.
confirmation of what
Okay.
I believe and how I believe,
Okay.
and how strongly I believe.
Okay.
So we'll adjourn the meeting.
When would I hear of a result?
We'll let you know in time. In time. I mean,
Well, we'd have to read what you said.
we've not read even what you've said.
That's fine. I get it short and brief
Right.
and
Mhm.
compressed.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to,
Sorry,
you,
can I just, in there you said how strongly you believe you have said that.
It's in there.
Yeah, okay, brilliant.
It's in there.
Just checking.
I just thought I'd make the point that we know the governing body isn't infallible.
Mhm.
It makes mistakes. Sometimes
Yeah.
it gets things wrong.
Yeah.
We allow for that.
Mhm.
So why give them the power to disfellowship and apostatize people?
there's no point in getting into this discussion now.
I just thought I'd lay that down.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
I wish best of days to you guys.
Yeah. Okay. You too.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.